Alright guys, welcome back to another exciting tutorial. This is Fash and I'm so glad to be here. So right now we want to dive into how we can actually run our code. So I'm clicking on the React doc, the folder I've created, logging straight down into my app, clicking so that I'll be able to highlight on these headings. I'll type cmd, so I'm just going to type code spacebar dot, so that this will actually launch my VS Code for me. So once this has been successfully done, what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to delete these. Well, you might not see these on your own application, on your own text editor, you know, it might be a little bit different. So it's actually loading right now. So what we're going to do right now is that since it's loading, we would like to run our React application, and we can basically do that by hitting on this terminal. So Visual Studio Code has an inbuilt code terminal, that we can easily use to run our code, because most times you run your code inside the terminal. Some people run their code inside the command prompt terminal like this, but we're not going to do that. We are doing cmd. We're not going to do that. We are going to actually run our code from the VS Code terminal. That's why I prefer to use VS Code sometimes, because it's very powerful. All right, good. So what we're going to do right now is that for you to run your code, let me quickly show you something. You know, I told you something about package.json. When you click on it, you will see script. So this is where you can, this is the script that you run to perform some certain operation. If you want to start your React, you can usually use this script tag like start. If you want to build your application, you can do this. If you want to test, if you want to eject, you can do this. So we want to start our application, so we are going to use start. So you know, because this thing is an npm package, so you need to use npm alongside with it. So I'm going to close this right now. You might actually see some error, you know, because we deleted some stuff where we before we run our code. So be ready to debug. So let's say npm start. You have to put npm start because it is npm script. All right, so by the time it's on enter, it's going to load for some few seconds, and it's going to load for some few seconds, opening a port 300 for you, so that the browser will be able to open. You know, React basically work on the default port 300 for the application to open on your browser. So I think there's an error somewhere. Let's check it out. Let's see what exactly is happening, and let's see how we can actually fix the bug. You know, it's loading. You can see it opens the browser for you. You can see the port 3000 in there. So let me make it big. So I think we don't have an issue. Okay, fine. Okay, if you are seeing this, fine, you're good to go. And if you're having an error, all you have to do is just go straight down into your app.js and ensure that you remove this particular image. Okay, remove this particular image. You might see some error, but ensure that you remove that particular image. You don't want that image. All right, good. So all right, so let me reload. You can see the image is no more there. I don't want to see the image there. Okay, it's loading. So all right, let me just do it this way, so that we'll all be seeing it from different angle. So if I'm seeing it from the browser, I should be able to navigate through my code. All right, good. So basically that's how to launch a React application. Okay, I think there's an error somewhere. What's going on? All right, good. You can see we have removed the image, so you are going to see it in there. So you can see learn React. So if you want to change that learn React, you can see learn React and Node.js. So if you do that, let's save it and let's see whether this thing is going to have an effect. You can see it as an effect. You know, the background and everything is because that you're seeing right now is the default. We're going to remove all these and start from scratch. Okay, just like you are installing WordPress and it's coming with the template. If you probably use a content management, WhatsApp content management system before. All right, so basically that's that. Oh, see, there's one thing I really want to explain to you before I go. So, and that thing is, you should learn that the fact that you need to learn how to export your application, your components. You can see export default app. The name of the component is app. That's why you see export default app. The reason why you have to put this at the bottom is that you will be able, so that you will be able to import it. Oops, sorry, I've closed my VS Code. I've closed my VS Code. So basically the reason is that you will be able to what exactly are we talking about, so that you'll be able to okay, sorry, let me launch my VS Code back. Okay, All right, good. So we are back now. The reason why we use export is that, let me maximize this, and I think I'll be the reason why we export the VS, so I'll be able to import it, the components rather. So you can see export default app, and here you can actually import. So see, one thing is that app.js is regarded as a root component. It is where all other components stay. So now this particular component should stay inside something too, and if you are exporting, you use this export concept. And if you want to import it, let's say for instance you want to import it in index.js, you can see we say import app from this. So that means you are trying to import a component inside another component. So component is being exported from its own arena into another component. So if you are importing it into another component, at the top you have to specify that you are importing app component from this ./app, means it is from the same directory, from the same folder, and that folder is known as source folder. So don't get it mixed up. All right, so once you do that, if you now want to use it in that component, you use it like a tag. You can say I say app and I put it inside the tag. So that's how to import a component. So imagine you have so many components that you have designed and you want to put them inside this particular app component. All you have to do is just to go straight up and ensure that you import that particular, let's say that name, the name of the app is, the name of the component is nav. You just say nav. So you can see you just say nav from, if that thing is from the same root folder. So you are going to say, because you are from the same root folder, I'm going to say okay, and you are going to type the name of that particular that particular component. So that's exactly how to import that, because this thing is showing something like it's not clear because we have not actually created any component yet. So that is just a strategy, but this is what I'm actually going to do. I want to type hello world inside this place. I don't really like it, so if I want to do that, I'll clear some things. But don't forget, component is just basically functions. There's nothing really, there's no big deal about it. They are functions that perform a specific task. Alright, before I clear everything, in the next tutorial I would like to explain the concept of using images, because some people always find it very hard for them to actually implement, understand the structure of this project, so that they'll be able to put image. Where should you put image? How can you put image? Because whatever you are designing, you're going to be manipulating between text and image. Alright, this is where I'm actually going to stop for now. Hope you understand the concept of running your application and basic things you need to understand about export, import, and how to import, how to ensure that the component is visible on your application. And don't forget, component is a function that performs a specific task. So in the next tutorial, we're going to dive into the concept of using images. And until then, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.